Today on the show, we are joined by the Undrafted Hockey Fan to discuss our final Players in the Pipeline episode. Welcome to the Griffins Pipeline Podcast.
Welcome to the Griffins Pipeline Podcast. We are a podcast brought to you by the Hockey Podcast Network. We are sponsored by DraftKings. I'm one of your hosts, Connor.
I'm the other host, Kyle. We're a show brought to you by the fans, for the fans. We are not experts by any means. We're not sponsored by the Grand Rapids Griffins. We just do this as season ticket members, and we want to keep you updated through this offseason as it goes along. Not much is happening currently, but we had a good chance to catch up with Brad, the Undrafted Hockey Fan, and talk about how the offseason's going and kind of bring that to you here in our final Players in the Pipeline episode for this series.
Yeah, we did a fun series this summer. We talked to Michigan hockey, Michigan State hockey. We talked to Toledo Walleye.
Yeah, we talked to Lars Thorsel of the Swedish Winger and really tried to get some information on some of these prospects that aren't just us talking about and what we can find on the internet, maybe getting someone who gets eyes on these players a little bit more. So been good to discuss some other hockey across the league. So we ended up breaking that interview with Brad into two sections, one for the Players in the Pipeline, and we're going to move forward with the rest of the good stuff coming from this offseason, talk about the free agency and a lot of the Yzerplan discussions with Brad in a part 2, and you can catch that episode next week, so make sure to follow along for that one. We can go ahead and get into that interview. Today on the Griffins Pipeline Podcast, we are joined by the Undrafted Hockey Fan. Brad, how are you today?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well. And it's like cold, frigid morning in Michigan. It's kind of bull crap, but it's all right. We're doing well, man. How about you guys?
Doing good.
Yeah, I think it beats the scorching Sahara Desert heat we've had the past month. So
I heard I heard it's supposed to hit the 30s next week, like this lower 30s. I was like, good. It's September, so but it's supposed to come back. We'll see. I'm not, we're complaining about cold weather now, but it's in January when it's real cold. We're not gonna be worried about it. But that means, hey, this means hockey season's coming early, babies. We're good, dude. We're coming up on it. This is a sign.
Yeah, off season's about over. Training camp's about to start. Yeah, those frigid temperatures give you that early warning sign, and yeah, like Connor said, it's false fall right now. So we're getting into the end of summer, and then September we got training camp starting. We got the red versus white game coming to Grand Rapids, and preseason's underway. So right around the corner.
That's awesome. Yep, we're getting there. We're getting there.
So today we're going to do a little bit of Players in the Pipeline, kind of close up the series that we started this summer. We talked about these prospects for the Detroit that you have a chance to come over, play with Grand Rapids, or maybe they have a chance to make it to the big club. But in this one, we're going to kind of discuss Dmitry Pchelnikov, Jesse Kiskinen, and Edwards Traumax. So we'll kind of get into them. We'll go ahead and dive into Dmitry Pchelnikov first.
Awesome. Yeah. You want me to start?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Sure, go ahead, man.
Sure. Yeah. No, Booch is great. I think there's definitely a smaller forward, right? And that's something that we talk about with him. He's playing out of the KHL right now. And with him, I right now he was last year he played with Paul Podolsk Vitska. I think that's how you say it. They're the team that folded though, right? I believe, because now I think he's playing for CSKA now. Or he was bought or loaned or something like that. But this guy tore it up. 54 points in 65 games, 15 goals, 39 assists. Just a monster. I think one of the things that you have to look at when you're looking at Russian prospects, of course we have like the, you have the Ovechkins, you have the Evgeny Kuznetsov, the Kaprizovs, and you think these guys are high scorers. And we're starting to see high scoring. And the thing is with the Buchelnikov, being that he's a younger player, a lot of younger players don't get the playing time in the KHL because they're more favorable towards older players. And so the fact that you're seeing him put this many points up and really earning his spots, I think is huge for a 21-year-old. It's really showing that he can do a lot more, and definitely in the KHL, scoring is a lot harder to come by. It's more of like a defensive league, a little more defensively responsible, and the ice rinks are starting to become mostly NHL. I think there's still some that are a couple little more Europeans out, a little bigger, which favors more smaller players like Buchelnikov, who's only 5'10", 169 pounds, according to HockeyDB. But I can see this guy. I mean, he's got one more year left. His agreement or his contract with the KHL expires May 1st, 2026. So that's at the end of the Red Wings season. But I see this guy making the jump, completely skipping, unfortunately, and for you guys, the Griffins pipeline, and just going straight to the NHL next year. And that I think he could honestly be the hole that we're missing on left wing for the Red Wings right now. This guy, I think, could make a big splash and be that guy. Although I'm a little hesitant having two small forwards, being Raymond and Buchelnikov on the top line. But I mean, if it works, it works. I wouldn't be mad about it. So, what are you guys' thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think he's like extremely fast. Watching his highlights, dude, that dude flies, and obviously he has like the offense first attitude, and yeah, he's definitely a weapon. Absolutely, like you mentioned, the size. It's harder for smaller guys to develop into the NHL better like that. But like you said, we got Raymond, who's obviously kicking ass. There's dudes like Mitch Marner and other dudes that are small, like Cole Caulfield. And I mean, the thing is getting him over here, right? I mean, obviously, he's been spotted around. He's been working out with some Griffins players here in North America. So I'm just real excited to see him come over, and yeah.
Yeah, I think for me
Absolutely.
personally, to be Mitch Buchelnikov, he's just one of those huge question marks as a player. What will he bring over with him? Is he going to bring that goal scoring ability? I think that's what everyone's hoping for. Is like you said, fill that left wing kind of spot that we just need someone to put points up consistently. And I like the Kaprizov and some of these other Russian players that have developed. He's got a solid chance to become one of them. And it's always in the getting him over here part that's the huge question. Like, what does it take to get this kid in a Red Wings jersey on the ice? And if it doesn't work out, does he just drop down to the AHL?
And that kind of goes back to what Brad said, him skipping over the AHL completely. I mean, he's the kind of guy you think would want to do that. I mean, in interviews, he said that he's okay with the next step, even if it means going to the AHL.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's like, what does he really want? He probably really wants to just come over and play in the NHL. And, if that's not available for him, he might just stick it out and stay in Russia. I mean, it's hard to leave your home, pack up everything, and just leave for a chance to play in the NHL.
Yeah.
Well, and you have to consider that when you sign an ELC with the NHL, you are getting a 3-year ELC. So like you're in the NHL, you're making $850,000. Phenomenal. That's great. And mind you, in the NHL, it's a per day. You're getting paid per day. Now, when Marco Kasper kept going up and down doing the paper, there was a lot of paper transactions when he was like this past year. They were sending him down on those days that he was considered on the Griffins roster. He was making $80,000 a year, right? And so you have to consider that if Buchelnikov decides, hey, I can go make 200 or 150 grand or 200 grand for the whole year guaranteed out in KHL, he's like, I'll do that. I can make more money and I'm still playing a high level of competition as opposed to maybe potentially getting a higher, potentially going to the NHL. Like if there's more money to be made, and that's one of the reasons I think Kaprizov stayed over there for so long, is that the money's better than just coming to the AHL.
Yep.
It's similar competition, right? And so that's where I see this jump. And I will say, I think the Red Wings are pretty favorable on Buchelnikov and wanting him to get up. Because to me, he is a first or second line guy. He's a top 6 guy. You don't put a guy like this in the bottom 6. I think he's just too talented to be able to do that. I think he'd probably get run over in the third line. And the rumor was that Detroit had a 3rd round pick that they were going to try and catch him in like the 3rd round. But they were afraid that in 2022 draft, they didn't have a 3rd round pick. So they actually used a 2nd round pick on him instead, which tells you how high they were on him. Right. And so, like, I mean, this is a great draft class. I think that if we see Anton Johansson, starting to come out in the Griffins as well. Like, this could be a really good draft class for the Red Wings, getting Kasper, Johansson, Buchelnikov, and of course Lombardi, of course, in the 4th round. This would be one of the big guys coming out of it, right? So I think I'm really excited about him. I think he definitely can take that next step.
So what do you think his comparable to his like development, what do you think the fastest route for him? Like, do you think bringing him over provides the best development if he makes it right to the Wings wheel and he's playing time in the NHL and a top 6 pairing? You think that's the best development path for him? Probably next year if he ends up in a Wing wheel.
21 now, so he just turned 21, or he's going to turn 20. September 6th is his birthday, so he'll be 22 soon. So we're starting to progress, but I think at this point you kind of know who the player is. You're starting to get when you go from like you're 22 years old, the steps aren't going to be that much greater. So I think the faster, because I think you're running out of runtime for him to fully develop, because these guys just started, their games are just harden and solidify. I think you need to get him into the top 6 role in the NHL, so that, because we're starting to run out of that runtime. Right. I think the Red Wings want to be able to mold him in the way they want to,
Yeah, you want to. Yeah.
So also what could happen is you throw him to the Wolves, throw him up there, and you let him see how he does. If he can't perform right away, then you send him down to the Griffins, let him get that top line, absolutely on the top line every night, get him developed. And then, he's meshing with dudes like possibly Nate Danielson, Carter Mazer. I mean, there's a lot of dudes that are ready to take these spots, that are like actually chomping at the bit, right, to be at the door to take the spot in the Red Wings, but the only people blocking them are the other dudes there, like Mazer and Danielson and Michael Branson, Nygaard, ASP. You got
and Carter Bear will be coming up that following year too
for a spot. So I don't think it'd be worst case scenario if he had to go. Yeah, exactly. Yep. I mean, it won't be the worst to sit there and build chemistry with those guys while you compete for a spot. Little competition never hurts.
I was say, I don't think you can have a guarantee that Patrick Kane's going to be there again, right? So you might end up moving Cat up to the first line, back with Raymond and Larkin. And if Booch is sitting on the second line with Kasper, I think that would be a phenomenal. I think you get the high skill of a guy like that. You get a more defensively responsible center with Kasper. I think that would be a huge asset for those two working together. So I think it'd be great. So
yeah, I could agree with that. Sure.
Absolutely,
that sounds like a good pairing, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Your season, your shot. The NFL season is rolling, and every touchdown can bring you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. From first touchdown scorer to anytime touchdown props or the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. New customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, score over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet. Plus over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Fees may apply in Illinois. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
So we can go ahead. I think we can move into Jesse Kiskinen now. So we'll kind of let you go off on this one too. Tell us what you think
but I'll rip on him real quick. So, Jesse Kissinen, I like this kid, and this is we're as a Red Wings fan, I'm a little salty on him. Not salty on the player. I'd say this brings up bad memories with the Jake Wallman trade, which I definitely think Red Wings fans forget. They're like, oh my god, can you believe Wallman was traded with a second round pick? You can forget that the Red Wings moved off of Andrew Gibson, a right-handed defenseman, who they actually didn't need. And so far his development's been okay. But the Red Wings got a second round pick with Jesse Kiskinen for Andrew Gibson, right? And so you consider that the Red Wings forward prospect pool, this is a guy that they needed. They needed a forward. Again, the defensive prospect pool was pretty good for the Red Wings, and he's working out really well. Last year, the 6 foot, 187 pound right winger, shoots right, of course, too. Played for HPK Hamelin in La Liga. 46 games played, 44 points, led his team in points as well. And the cool thing about the La Liga is that if you are leading your team in points, at least I don't know if it's for this team or if it's for the league, you get to wear a gold helmet. And it is so cool to see him ripping around wearing the gold helmet. It feels a little bit like a target, like you're like, but I think it's so cool. And you can see the gap between how he played and the rest of the players. Again, 44 points in 46 games. The next player with the most points was 37 games. So that's a 7-point difference. And that player had played 12 more games. So just realize the gap that Jesse has been able to play with. He's just really stepping into his role. I think this guy, I like him. I like the skill. Unfortunately, the La Liga is not as strong of a league. So you get to consider it's not as strong as the SHL. But it's just showing some promise. I think this guy can be a pretty good depth scorer. Probably more falls more on the third line. Maybe gets a flash on the second line, but overall, I think he really pans out as a third line guy. Just when you consider the right wing looks like, right, you have the Raymonds and everything. And I can't remember if Carter Bear or Branson Nygaard play the right side. But you just start to fall that he's good skill, good. I mean, good. He's leading the team, right? He's showing his aggression and everything. So I think he's a good third line guy. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Awesome. So what are you guys' thoughts on this? On Jesse?
Yeah, he's definitely one of the guys that is going to need the Grand Rapids transition. You're not going to just stick Jesse Kiskinen into the AHL. Yeah, NHL. But yeah, so he went over, and during the internationals, he played for Finland, and he really tore it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 9 goals, 14 points.
Yeah, and in the World Juniors.
It's Jesse Kiskinen's been really good, in my opinion, as we lost Gibson and Wallman, and that whole thing was kind of a chaotic moment for Yzerman a little bit. But bringing him in, and we see the potential, and we see the goal scoring start to develop over there, I think it was a fair move, especially if this kid does come to Grand Rapids. We're going to really enjoy having him down there. It's kind of one of those sakes where it's you want this kid with the puck, and you want him with the rest of this development crew to kind of grow with the team. The sooner you get them over here, the sooner we get these guys together, the longer they'll build together, and the stronger this prospect core becomes.
Yeah, agreed.
So I'm all about getting him into the system sooner than later.
Yeah, it looks like he's got 1 year for HPK slated on Elite Prospects. So
yeah, I think it was his choice to stay over there.
Yeah, get another good year, and then come over and help Grand Rapids with a playoff push.
ELC. Did he sign his ELC? Do you know?
Yeah, I believe back in March he did, didn't he?
Yeah, it said he signed his ELC in August. No. June. Yeah, June 3rd it says. So yeah, he just signed his ELC. So that's actually, and it looks like which is I didn't know he actually grew an inch. Oh no, you have it right. You have it right in the graphic. I was reading Puckpedia, but yeah, I thought he was only 6 foot. He's 6'1" now. But yeah, no, he signed it this year. So and I think with Best Pathway, I think you guys talked about it, and I think what I'd heard is the Jesse Kiskinen had talked to the Red Wings development team, and they asked him if he wanted. I think they were talks about him potentially coming over, but I think he wanted to stay a little longer.
Yeah.
Over there again, just he was thriving in his role, playing those top line minutes and everything. So I think him staying over there for another year is good. You get in the AHL next year, start to play and get some get used to the North American game and everything. Get like you guys talk about as well, the chemistry as well. I think it'd be huge. And Red Wings don't have like a huge finish. Like they don't have a lot of Finns, at least to my knowledge. I know you guys would definitely be the guys to know more about that, but I think he'd be really good to come on over. I think it'd be really fun. For Jesse, I believe I had read on Twitter was that they potentially could have brought him over, and he wanted to stay over there for another year. And the reason you can see the indication is Red Wings signed him to his ELC back here in the start of June this year. And so with him leading his team, he's looking really well. He's getting those top line minutes. I think one of the things they're really looking for him to strive, because he's got some size to him. He's 6'1", right? They want him to play against the top competition that he needs to play against, right? They don't want him playing third line minutes in the La Liga, or even like maybe third line, maybe second line minutes in the AHL. Get him those top line minutes, play against the hardest competition, because you're only as good as the competition you play against, right? If you're beating up 12-year-olds, it doesn't make me better, right? I need to be versing people that are better than me, so that way I can get better as a hockey player as well. So let him be these top line guys. You wear his gold helmet, get more points, hit that point per game, you continue that point per game pace, and then do a year over there. He signed his ELC, so let's say now this year he'll be in the La Liga. His second year of the ELC, he'll be in the AHL, and hopefully by that third year he can break out into the NHL. Mind you, he's only 20 right now. I think he's going to turn 20. Yeah, he's only 20 right now, right? So if he's in next year he's 21. The year after that he's 22 in the AHL. That's a great spot to be in. Again, I think he falls out as being the third line winger for the Red Wings potentially. He's got a great prospect of doing that, especially. So I think this is one of Yzerman's. If you just isolate the Gibson and a second for Jesse Kiskinen, I think the Red Wings have won this absolutely, right? Because they got a second round pick and Jesse Kiskinen out of this, which they needed that forward depth in their prospect pool.
Yeah, I agree with that. It was a big question mark at the time, but the season he put on really opened eyes, and I think that goes a long ways to actually getting him over here. But yeah, like Connor said, I'd love to see him after his season is over this year, if he can make it over to Grand Rapids, just to kind of get him on the Grand Rapids ice and with the rest of these players. So got anything else on Jesse Kiskinen?
So
Jesse Kiskinen, excuse me.
That's all I got. Yeah, Jesse. I know it's here. We'll get him. Yeah.
So last one here for players in the pipeline, we got Eduards Trollmax. This one's a real interesting one, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's a little older. He's a 28-year-old, so obviously he's not your average guy, or your average prospect that's younger, but he's really tearing it up. So, yeah, you want to talk about him, Kyle?
Yeah, I think it sounds like the Red Wings are actually going to try to take a shot with him. I don't know what exactly they're going to slot him in. Maybe he is a bottom six kind of guy that they just kind of give him a couple goes, and maybe if he doesn't work out, he ends up on the Griffins, which I initially thought he would have just been a Grand Rapids player. But it sounds like they have a little more hype in him than I thought. So he might get a chance. I mean, it's looking like he doesn't really want to play in the AHL. It sounds like he might just rather stay in Latvia for a year. But yeah, I'm kind of interested to see what happens with this guy. I don't know too much about him just because he's from Latvia. We got to see a great world championship performance from him. He put on a lot of points. He was in the top 10 for like the first half of it. And then, yeah, it's just really kind of opened eyes late in the season.
So, I mean, with him, if you just look at what he's got, like I think I would say one indicator is that he's money motivated or he does want to play here. So he does have a contract, right? So he has the ability to get there. I mean, I agree. When you take a flyer on a 28-year-old, it's kind of like reminds me of Magnus Hellberg when Red Wings signed him. They're like, he's a goalie who performed really well. Let's take a shot in the dark, right? And he's, again, 28-year-old. Is there much development for this guy? Probably not, right? But it's for a 6'4", 209-pound guy. I mean, 6'4" is, I mean, this guy can play a great bottom six. Let's like think it's like the ceiling, right? Bottom six, probably bottom of the like fourth liner on the Red Wings, right? This guy's probably more like a middle six, maybe a little bit more leadership on the actual on the Griffins. Mind you, last year 51 points in 48 game with the Kladno Knights. On his team, he led them. So he had 51 points. He was 20 points ahead of the second guy, again, in less games. Similar we saw with Kiskinen, right? So Red Wings are getting guys that are the top of their team. And you take a flyer on this guy, right? I mean, it doesn't hurt, right? It creates a little bit of depth. You get a big guy, maybe works out, maybe he doesn't, but might as well try it out. And one of the things I was looking at, so I don't know if you guys follow Puck Empire on Instagram, but one of my favorite things that they have is they actually rank the men's leagues and where the leagues are on, and so you can see how difficult we are. So just before we talked about Jesse Kiskinen, Puck Empire ranks the La Liga for that Jesse's playing in at 6. And now, mind you, Edwards was playing in the Czech league, which is they ranked 7th, right? So now, you're taking a guy that's playing he was the highest producer on his team in the 7th best league, right? So the only progression is you have to continue going up, right? So now we're bringing him up to what they have for the AHL is the 5th ranked league. So now you're bringing him up, right? So is he going to continue that same production? Probably not, because it'd be harder competition. But if you can start to just kind of piece those things together, again, the Red Wings have him under contract. So if it works out, great. If not, maybe he's a depth trade piece that someone really likes because he was able to show off something in the AHL. So I think this is it's not a bad, it's a flyer, right? You know, it only costs you money. It didn't cost you any draft capital. It just costs you money. And guess what? It ain't my money. It's the Chris the Illich's money. So they can go ahead and take the flyer. Go ahead, Stevie. The pizza money.
No, I hear you. I like what you said. The leadership qualities. You'll probably have the pizza money. I like the chance of him making it down to Grand Rapids are very high. I think I pictured him when we signed him as like a good Tim Gettinger replacement. So we're losing that big body, and we get another big guy, a little bit older, like you said. Maybe he kind of works himself right into a top 6 kind of big guy position where he can kind of help these younger guys grow, maybe protect them like an Austin Watson did for Danielson, and just kind of keep your prospects safe, keep your players. And I am kind of interested if the Red Wings do bring him up and take a shot at him, get him in the lineup.
Well, and you figure looks like he's probably gonna play, right? Because that's what Elite Prospect is saying. They're saying that he's gonna be playing there, and he I guess you wouldn't sign a contract if you weren't going to at this point in your life, right? 28 years old. It's not like he's gonna continue to really develop. But yeah, I could definitely see him coming over. I'm trying to see if there's anyone that's from Latvia that the Griffins had last year, and I don't know if there was. I see some Sweden and Czechia and everything, but I don't see any Latvians. I'm just wondering how well he's going to connect with somebody.
I don't think there's any Latvians. Right, that's kind of why these 3 players in the pipeline were grouped together, because we got the Russian and Chelnikov, you got the Finnish player in Kiskinen, and the Latvian and Traumax. They're kind of spread out a little further than the rest of the prospects. So these 3, I mean, they're a little more interesting to talk about. You can kind of there's a lot more variance behind actually getting them into the lineup, and it's very interesting to just kind of predict what's going to happen with these guys.
Well, and we have some indications with him. If you can see on 21-22 with the Providence Bruins, right? 27 points in 51 games. So we're looking at a half point per game player. I mean, if you put him at a half point per game player on the Griffins right now, he falls in like 6th, like 7th or 8th as a points developed, right? Like he's right between like Shai Buium and Antti Tuomisto at a half point per game. So I'll take that, right?
Yeah.
I'll take a 6'7" guy. Again, is he going to break down? Is he going to be next call up for the Red Wings? Probably not, but it is a good, again, like you talk about a Sheldon Dries, right? Like, one of those guys that can just be a little bit more of a leadership in the Griffins.
Yeah. And we lost Joe Schnively. So at this point, any veteran that's, could put up some quality points, we kind of need that in the room.
Agreed.
So be very helpful to have him down there in the top 6, hopefully.
Absolutely.
But sounds like Austin Watson will be down there too. So hopefully we could just get some big bangers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Checking. All righty.
So, I'm good on Edwards. So I got
yeah.
Okay, good. Yep. I'm glad we're on the same page. I got nothing left on Edwards. So
okay, yeah, we can move on from these players in the pipeline, and we can go ahead and talk about some of the free agents. We'll talk about some draft results. We can talk about the Iser plan itself. So,
thank you very much again, Brad, for coming on and talking about those 3 prospects. Sorry about the technical difficulties we had.
It was a battle.
One of those fun times. But thank you very much, Brad. Fun having you. Can't wait to talk to you later this season. Well, that should bring us to the final segment of the episode, the penalty box. This is the final segment of every episode. We like to end it on a fun note, and we like to step out of hockey if we can get a chance to, but we can keep it into hockey. But this is the penalty box. We like to put the biggest idiot of the week into the penalty box, into the sin bin for a 2-minute minor, 4-minute double minor, 5-minute major, or a game misconduct. Kyle, who are you throwing into the penalty box today?
So today, I will actually be staying in hockey, at least a little bit. The Seattle Kraken were taking photos of their mascot in nature, trying to get some cool scenes and shots with the mascot. I believe his name is Boy. Out in the boys. And I don't know. All of a sudden, there's just this bear, and this bear is charging them and trying to see this mascot run in all his gear and away from a bear. It's kind of scary, kind of funny. It's a risky situation for sure. So definitely 5-minute major on Seattle Kraken for getting your mascot almost killed by a bear.
It would be absolutely a different story if he did get mauled by a bear. That wouldn't be the best news headline. Seattle Kraken mascot mauled by bear.
Not good.
Yeah, have fun in the box for sure. So who I'm throwing into the penalty box, I am throwing in a Celsius energy drink. So the same company owns High Noon seltzers, vodka seltzers, and somehow there's a miscommunication at the plant, and the Celsius containers were filled with High Noon. Imagine trying to get up to go to work, cracking open a Celsius energy, going to work, crashing your high-low, and explaining that to your boss while you're
driving
drunk.
to work.
Yeah, driving to work and then crashing your high-low. Not a good look at all.
Yeah. Breath would smell like alcohol. Hopefully someone that would open that and drink it would identify it before it all went down. If not, then maybe there's a bigger problem. But yeah, that's a hard one to explain to like a police officer. Yeah, why does your drink smell like alcohol? I don't know, dude. It's a Celsius.
Yeah, so that's a 5-minute major game. Actually, that's a game misconduct. I mean, that you can't have that. You could destroy someone's life, DUI.
Big time.
So, have one in the box.
That should wrap us up for this episode. Make sure you guys are staying tuned and staying up to date with what's going on with the Red Wings. Just a reminder that everything kind of kicks off here in September. We got training camp, prospect games. Hopefully they're broadcasted on YouTube this year. And then we have the red versus white game right here in Grand Rapids. and then right after that starts the preseason. So hockey is right around the corner. We're getting right back into the scheme of things, and hopefully we'll catch you all at the game, the red versus white game.
Go Griffins.
Go Griffins.
Thank you for listening to the Griffins Pipeline podcast. If you enjoyed the show, give us a 5-star review. We are part of the Hockey Podcast Network. We are not partnered with the Grand Rapids Griffins, Detroit Red Wings, or Toledo Walleye. We are not experts. We are just die-hard fans looking to make a community with others alike. Let's go Griffins Nation. Join the fun, like and follow us on Facebook and X, or call into the show and have your opinion heard 1-616-319-1175. Thank you. Grand Rapids Griffins, Toledo Walleye, and Detroit Red Wings. Players, coaches, websites, and social media. Thank you AHL.com, NHL.com, ETL.com, EliteProspects.com, and anyone else putting out information on the teams. Until next time, go Griffins. Go Red Wings, go Walleye.